Real quick one time. 144, bitch.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about it anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Split a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me far. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop.
One time. 144, bitch.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about it anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harvey. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking notes. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Split a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me far. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. You can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made it call. We gon' start another war. Yeah. grab my bow tie. You'll never see another nigga like this. Used to have that white bitch popping on the night shift. Now I'm one westward, sharper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury. I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani. My wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her. They don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on the face, but it's not concealing the pain. It's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Tahoe Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Lighters in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. You can't. The streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life. My whole life.
From Westworld. Let's get it.
Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in. in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the piece loose, but they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Pay my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing. Dog, I plan to keep you. Lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul. Losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest. They gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad. Been rapping since knee high. Now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in their face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we have, but we come from half not. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drought.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
All right, this is Rooted Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, so Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rooted Speech, man. Understand, I break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine. Big glow, I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got a million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. These fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka, equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer, since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Kong. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring karma. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. That I'm one West bred, one West bedded, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, One West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no way up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designers charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause the niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my lives. Yes, you said.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Passion. Oh, so y'all just what are you doing, sir?
What I'm doing? You see what's going on?
The Passover, April 1st. Raleigh, North Carolina. I got my Michu from Hazard Collection. I got my Kudash pick. I got my shield from Yatazar.
It's
What?
January
Sir, what?
21st.
I know what day it is. I know what time it is. This is why I'm leaving now, because I'm walking. If I stop today, I'm gonna get there on time.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
We just finished filming.
That's right. Look at the generals, man. Man.
Sir, we just finished filming the promotional video like 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
I thought you were kidding.
Oh, you acting. You was acting. I wasn't acting, huh? I'm serious. You are an actor. I see, you are an actor. You see these brothers? They're not acting. You know what I'm saying? We're not actors in the UPK, man. When I say I'm going to the Passover, I'm not acting. I'm going to the Passover and I'm walking. You understand?
I'm going too, but I'm taking a plane.
Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st. They got the black party. They got the children's. Y'all take your sword.
Yeah, you're gonna need that for the slaughter of the land.
All right. Let's do this, man. You catch a plane. I'm walking.
You for real?
Salak, y'all. Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st.
Oh, the Yatazar.
Let's do this. Yo, on my back. Get the door. I'm out.
Oh, the Yatazar. Oh, the Yatazar.
Passover.
Oh, the Yatazar. South is this way. This way. Are you really walking?
Going to Passover, man, Raleigh. You know what? At least you know your geography.
Oh, the Yatazar, where are you going?
Shalom, huh?
Shalom, sir.
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, send the curses. Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress. She a bombshell. Revenge is served cold. I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box. I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through it. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Bust their head.
ODing on a beat, Narcan flow. We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One west sleeve stretch, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing. Click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. And Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up. All cause my delivery, I be on that prime shit. Take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir, shoot you like the Ukraine. Raise your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle. I got new aim, fresh kick, spit with the blick. Not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got the Ruger 5 and 7. That's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this club, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly, be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a baldy. Chopper get to roaring down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog, this the big dog in your face.
Allah wapanya Barak Yahweh Shimmy Yahweh Thumb.
Yo, by Shimmy Yahweh Thumb, clap it up. Let's get it on. The Water headquarters. The Water Detroit. Get it on. Be seated, please, Akim. Let's get ready to rock, all right? Asher, you're up. We're going to get into all these topics tonight. Tonight, we will go into a psychological disorder. It might be the most undiscussed psychological disorder that blacks and Hispanics suffer from. We'll also speak to Detroit. Give Detroit a hand tonight therein. Of course, give Jerusalem headquarters a hand. Give the young man MAHAYAMAN. He's helping out tonight with all the essentials. We'll get it on. Lord allow, be down in the headquarters again. Lord allow, next weekend. Let's rock it out for tonight. However, Asher, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Just make sure I get to the topics. Also, Asher, if there's any other topics that I always mean to get to, but run out of time and neglect to get to, let's try to do them, all right?
Yes, sir.
Just try to, the list that I send you, let's just eat them up throughout the weeks. I'm ready whenever you are.
Come on, sir.
Let's get it on.
Okay, so we got people, we got Clubhouse open right now.
All right, Clubhouse. Clap it up for Clubhouse.
If anyone on Clubhouse got a question, just raise your hand. I'll bring you up, and then you can unmute yourself to ask your question. All right, so far I got one question in the chat. This is from Officer Yaquataza up in Buffalo, I believe.
All right.
He would like a breakdown on Matthew 6, verse 10.
No problem. Matthew 6 and 10. Let's go.
There's Mike here and there's Mike there.
This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven.
Okay, you want me to break that down for you?
That's what the officer would like, sir.
No problem, Mark. This is the Lord's Prayer, right? And when the apostles were speaking about praying, when they should pray, the Sadducee and Pharisee would come to them talking about how they pray. And Christ said, when you pray, pray like this. This is how you want to pray. And pray like this doesn't simply mean say these words, but this is the spirit that you should be in when you pray. Everyone understands, right? There are also precepts for this that Paul went to speak about in the letters that he wrote in the New Testament as well, which are precepts for this scripture. All right. Now I'll break it down for you. Just start me at the top of the Lord's Prayer.
Right here. Verse 5.
Go ahead.
And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily,
you see the sinners, slow it down, please, Zach, so I can break it down, all right? The sinners, they pray for people to see them praying. That's why they pray. That's how also, Asher, correct me with my language. Can I say religious groups?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Muslims pray to be seen. That's the point. They want you. That's why they pray in the middle of the street. They pray wherever they are 5 times a day on the rug. They're doing it so people can see them and believe that they're godly. The Catholics pray to be seen. The Christians pray in church because they want everyone to see them communicate with their God, because in doing so, they appear to be righteous. And that, of course, will let will hide the fact that they're stealing your money and molesting your children. So we're not going to pray the way hypocrites pray. That's the step one, meaning you got to mean it. You actually have to mean it, as opposed to just do it so that people can see you doing it. Everyone understands. Keep going.
Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
Why? Because people see them. So that's your reward. You're not going to get the thing you're praying for, because all you really wanted is to be considered holy by your peers and to be considered a person of God by the people that hear you talk about Jesus and God and wearing a cross and hallelujah. All you wanted to be is perceived to be Christian. Well, you are. So that's your reward. But the things that you actually need in life, you will never get, which is why we've been Christian for so many years. We worship pagan deities for thousands of years, and yet we profit from it not at all. Why? Because we don't actually mean it. We just want to be looked at like we're righteous. Keep going.
Verse 6. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret.
But when you pray, brother, you better be praying like, I'm not doing this to be seen. I'm sick. My family is sick. I'm hurting. I'm not doing this to appear righteous. I'm doing this in sincerity. I mean what I'm asking for. I mean it. Skip me down to the Lord's Prayer for time's sake.
Verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye.
So now after this manner, meaning pray like this. That's what after this manner means. Keep going.
Our Father, which art in heaven.
The first thing in your prayer you want to recognize is that our Father is in heaven, and he's our Father. One of the greatest ways to understand the God of the Old Testament is to understand the God of the New Testament, because they're the same God, but Christ allows you to think about him in a way that many people never thought about the Most High, to think about him like a father. And to understand God like a father, it unlocks the key to pleasing him. Many times in the Old Testament, they could not please the Lord. They didn't understand how to please the Most High. They couldn't give God what he wanted. They misunderstood the Sabbath day. They misunderstood sacrifice. They misunderstood brotherhood. They didn't get it. Christ came in the New Testament and made us understand the God of the Old Testament, because they're the same God. The God of the Old Testament is your Father. Your Father. And to understand that, it makes it much easier to give him what he wants. He's our Father. He wants the things that any good father wants. That any good father wants from their son. That any good father wants from their daughter. Everyone understands. Our Father, except this Father, is not the one in your home or the one that you miss or the one you never met. This Father is in heaven. This Father is in another realm, in another dimension, looking down on this dimension. Keep going.
Hallowed be thy name.
His name is holy. That's what the term hallowed means. So for anyone that thinks that God's name does not matter, or that no one knows God's name, that's a lie, because his name is holy. It's a holy name, meaning it's not a name that you can just take in vain. You can't just say that, you represent God, which is taking his name in vain, or represent the name of God, the true name of God, which is Yahweh. That's God's name. His name is holy. You can't use it for nothing. You can't swear oaths on it for nothing. You can't play around with it, because his name is holy. And if you say it, you better mean what you say when you say it, because you're accountable. Keep going.
Verse 10, thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Thy kingdom, let's slow it down. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That is you asking, requesting for the Most High's kingdom to come to this earth. Remember, he sits in heaven. He's not in this dimension. We're asking for him to come here. What do I mean by that? We're asking for his will, his judgment, his culture to take over this world. We want it to happen. Thy kingdom come. We want his kingdom to be down here, to be here. We want his rules to be established here. We want his culture to spread and dominate here. Thy kingdom come, his rulership, we want to be here. Thy will be done. What is his will? His will is the commandments, man. That's what he wants. And like any good father, you better give him what he wants. You understand? Give him what he wants. Right. Why? Because the things that he wants are better for you. Because that's what a good father's whole mission in life is raising a child that is something he can be proud of. Raising a child to be something that the father can say, that's my boy. That's everything I wanted in a man. If we give him what he wants, it's better for us. So what is Christ saying? Like, we're asking him to bring his kingdom here. We want him to rule the earth. We don't want Great Britain to rule the earth, or America to rule the earth, or Christianity, or Islam, or, Sifuism, or any of the 1,000 religions that rule some section of the planet right now. We want his law to rule, his judgments to reign on earth as they do in heaven. Remember, our God is in heaven and he's ruling up there. Well, we want him to have full authority down here. So what will we have? Heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. That's what we're asking for. That's what this prayer is asking for. So imagine, if you know the Bible, imagine what heaven is like. No murder, no child molestation, no broken families, no oppression. If you ever want to open your eyes to really what's happening and what the condition of blacks and Hispanics is like today, you have got to research Jim Crow, slavery, the Spanish Inquisition, the enslavement of the Hispanics, which most black people don't even know about, that the Hispanics were enslaved, and the so-called North American Indians were enslaved, and they died so much that they had to go seek new slaves. They wanted to go seek someone that was more accustomed to growing rice, because they died in those marshes in South Carolina so much that they went and found the people famous for growing rice on a particular part of South Africa, of West Africa, and the West Africans hated them and wanted to get rid of them anyway. And this oppression makes up your current state. The death that you suffered for so many years, it is the reason for who you are today. It's the reason. Well, we want God's kingdom to be here. We want heaven on earth. We don't want to have the planet that we've had so far. This is the prayer asking for it. Does everyone understand? Anything else?
I think that's it, sir.
Give me the sister.
There's another mic right here. Yeah. Yeah, turn the mic on, okay?
Why did the Most High God was able to heal people in one day?
Why did the Most High God bring his angels to heal people in one day? For what? I'll answer the question.
No. It says, I said, why did the Most High God was able to heal people in one day?
Why was the Lord able to heal? How was the Lord able to heal people in one day?
Okay, what is there a precept you're talking about when he healed them in one day? Do you mean in the New Testament?
Yeah.
Okay, give her a hand. Well done, sister. You can have a seat. I'll answer the question. Well, here's the thing when it comes to healing, right? So much of when you get healed has to do with you. You're the missing component in being healed. And so many people don't quite understand that when they read about scriptures. The Most High God can heal you in 12 years. He can heal you in the next hour. He can heal you whenever he wants to heal you. The missing component is your part. That's what Christ said. Christ said when he went to his city, they would say, thou hast healed people abroad, but when thou comest home to your city, you don't heal anyone. And you shall say, physician, heal thyself. Meaning, how will you heal people in other cities, but then you come home and you don't heal anyone? And he said, thy faith makes thee whole. You're going to have faith to be whole. What does that mean? Faith is what you do. It's what you do. So because of what you do, the Most High might heal you tonight. The Most High might heal you tomorrow. The Most High might heal you in a year. Here's the thing. You want to be obedient until his will is fulfilled. Until he gets what he wants, you wait to be healed knowing that he is going to heal you when he gets what he wants. How do I know that? Because he's our Father. I know that. I know if I want him to raise my allowance, or I want him to let me drive the car, or if I want him to give me a party, I'll be waiting for that thing until I take out the trash, until I get those grades up, until I clean my room. I'll be looking at him like, damn, when are you going to give me what I want? And a good father will say, when I get what I want. That's when you'll get what you want. So that's why the Most High God could heal people in one day, because the people that got healed in one day gave him what he wanted that day. Does everyone understand? Next question.
Consul, Detroit has a question, sir.
Detroit, you're up.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Detroit. I'm listening, brother.
Your mic is muted. No, we still can't hear you, sir. All right, for time's sake, sir, I'm going to move on to Hazahab, sir.
Please, Hazahab, you got it.
So I got a question in Zechariah 11:7. I was trying to find out what it meant when he called the two staves beauty and the other one bands. This is if I could start at verse 4, sir. It says, "Save the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not." Verse 6, "I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, save the Lord. But lo, I will deliver the men, everyone into his neighbor's hands, and into the hand of his king. And they shall smite the land, and out of their land I will not deliver them." Verse 7, "And I will feed the flock of the slaughter, even you, O poor of the flock. And I took me two staves, the one I called beauty, and the other I called bands, and I fed the flock." I was trying to find out what the two staves are and what he meant when he called one beauty and the other one bands, if I could.
The two it's a staff. You know what a staff is, correct?
Sir.
The word stave in Old English is staff. and these staffs had names because he has so many staffs. It's like a man who has many guns. Hand me my Glock. Hand me my HK. Hey, baby, listen, go in the room and hand me the AK. No, not that one. No, that's the SK. Give me the AK. It was commonly done to name a weapon. You named the weapon because you have multiple weapons. You get my point, Ak, or not?
Sir.
So imagine he has 15 staffs with 25 staffs suited to different purposes. Some longer, some shorter, some with spikes on the end, some with a whip on the end. And you would name this one Beauty because you set and you crafted it and you created it and you named it and you sit it with the rest of your other staffs. And that's why many people ask this question throughout the years. It's in many places in the Bible. They would name a sword, name a staff for the same reason you would, because they had more than one. And they named them to differentiate it from the other. You get my point?
Sir.
All right, next.
I'm gonna go back to Detroit.
And one more thing. And how's Ahab? You can understand why he would pick the name Beauty, right? Why did he name this one Beauty?
Because it was probably beautiful.
He thought it was beautiful. He looked at it and said, "This thing is beautiful, man. Damn, look at this thing. I'm naming you Beauty. This is staff is Beauty." What was the name of the other one?
Bands.
One more time.
Bands, like bandage, like a band.
Like a band, like bands on your wrist.
Concert.
Yeah, bands means what? This one keeps sheep in order. It ties them up. It captures them because I beat with this one, and it's like a band that you can't break. You get my point? All right. I'll take some more questions. Let's go.
Detroit,
you have questions? Detroit. Next question. Let's go.
We still can't hear you, Detroit.
We'll pass Detroit. Whenever you're ready, we'll get you.
Sir. We also got
or you can put it in the chat room, Detroit, or the TikToks or Clubhouses or whatever we're dealing with. Next.
We also got Chicago joining us and Maryland, sir.
Give Chicago a hand. All right, Chicago. All right, Maryland. Let's get it on. Let's go.
The next question
I would like to try to get to these topics every week if I could.
Let's
go.
Anyone in Clubhouse have a question? Anyone on the stage got a question?
Clubhouse, don't be scared now. Let's get it on. Let's answer these questions. Let's get off of that marijuana, man. I know you're sick of getting high every goddamn day. Many people don't know that you get high every day because of depression. Absolute depression.
Right.
And smoking weed is going to make sure you don't fulfill any of your goals. A lot of you on TikTok, you got big plans of getting your own farm, your economics. You love your economics, don't you, on Clubhouse? You always want to get your economics together. That weed is going to make sure you never accomplish your economic goals, ever. You're never going to do it. You're going to be satisfied with the sad state of your life. You're going to go make a logo for your business. That you're going to do. You're going to go make a logo. You're going to name your business. Give me the names of some businesses y'all had out there in the past and never did a damn thing with. Who has a name? You name the business first. You give it the most wonderful name. And you go make a beautiful logo. And you never do anything at all with that business for two reasons. God is against you, and he puts himself in opposition to every one of your goals. The other part is that you're high. You're a drug addict, and you can't make good decisions. You come into the UPK, you get off of that weed, you get off of that depression, which is the only way to get off of a marijuana habit is to get off of the depression. It's to get to the root of why you need to self-medicate so much on marijuana, because you're depressed. You're depressed, and that's why you smoke weed, Clubhouse. Any other questions?
It's like it, sir. But it's just a plant.
Yeah, it's just a plant. I hear you. It's just, everything is just it's only a plant. So is poison ivy. Rub it all over your face and neck. Not every plant is used for the purpose you want to use it for. I gotta go. You're depressed. You're depressed. You're under depression. Whoever smokes weed is depressed. That's it. You're depressed and you're trying to escape reality because you are a manic depressive person. You're under depression, and weed can't cure it. It just helps you to be a little lazier every day so you can forget about your depression. Anything else?
Concert, Officer Parataza in headquarters has a question, sir.
Parataza, you're up.
Yes, sir. So, like, I don't want if I may, I have a question on Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, what let me see here. Why the just man is still being called why the just man is still being called unjust when he falls 7 times, and also my question is, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. What, you know what I'm saying? What is the wicked part on the scripture?
Okay, why is the just man called being just even though he fails 7 times?
Khan.
That's you read the precept and I'll break it down for you.
Khan. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and rise up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Why is he being called just? You might have it now.
Because he rised up.
Because he gets up. He's not just because he fell. That's not why he's just. He's just because he gets up. And that is the key, to get up. No matter what, get on your feet. So many times in life, you focus on the falling. That's your whole life, about falling, because this world will constantly put it in your face, how you fell and blame you, which is going to go into the topic that we'll go into tonight. But this man is just because he got up. That's why he's just. And that is the key in life, to stand on your feet, not to dwell in the situation that you're in, but to stand up. You'll find that the more you stand, before you know it, you'll start running. And then you don't fall anymore. Because now you're running. Now you're on your feet, and there is no falling for you. The Bible is trying to say a just man will get up. He fell, but he'll get up. And that is the key to life, Ak. You want to go to war because that is what life is about. You want to have it in your mind that I go to war, not that I fall, not that, well, I can, fall and I'll still be good. I can leave the truth and go get high. God will still love me. I can start my cigarettes up again. God will still love me. I can go contact my ex-wife who left me for another man. She's with him now, but late at night, I miss her. And really, she's mine anyway, because he stole her from me. If you call that slut, you are falling down. That is what you're doing. What you want to do in life is get up, get on your feet and start running. Go to war with everything. That's the point of this, officer. That's why he's righteous, because he gets up. You understand?
Khan. And also, because I have all the way down to verse 18, if I may, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have a question on this. It says on 16. But let
me ask you a question. What if you are up? Is it okay for you to fall down? I'm asking you.
Say that again, sir.
If you are up, right? You know what up means, right?
In
this metaphor, meaning you're not on drugs. You're not seeing prostitutes. You're not, stuck in the same cycle of death that you were in before you came into the truth. You're up. So is it okay for you to fall down once? Is that okay?
So if it's okay for me to fall down once?
Yes.
But as long as I get back up.
So is it okay if you are up? Is it okay for you to fall down once?
Khan.
It is not. It is not. Why isn't it okay for you to fall down even once?
Because I'm a just man.
You got. I'm out. There's 1,000 other precepts, but I just want to make sure you understand this one. You are up. You're not down. Is it okay for you to fall down even once? No. Why? Because you're up. Do you understand?
So, like you so you're saying I'm up because I'm being an example.
No. Just focus on this side. This is a concept that the Bible is trying to drive into your mind. If I am up, meaning I'm in the truth, I'm doing what's right, I have to focus my life that I never fall, ever. Give me this precept. Watch. Oh, it's a perfect precept. Watch how ye walk, that ye stumble not. Is that it, Asher? Watch that. Put lest ye fall. Lest ye fall is what you need. Let me find it for you real fast. We're tight with the time, but let me get it for you, brother. All right. Just so there are no misconceptions about whether or not the UPK will accept failure even one time from any one of you.
1 Corinthians 10 and 12.
What does that say?
Let
the officer read it.
Gonna process out 1 Corinthians 10 and 12.
First Corinthians.
1 Corinthians.
Chapter 10, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth, take heed lest he falls.
Read it one more time.
Come. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. Therefore, let him that thinketh he standeth.
Stop right there. Therefore, let him that thinks he stands. Let him. So imagine you're standing right now. You're up. You're not getting high, smoking cigarettes, sleeping with prostitutes. You're not a homosexual. You're not eating pork, eating shrimp. You're keeping God's commandments. You're up right now. Well, now, if you think that you're up, if you believe you're up, go ahead.
Take heed.
Read that again.
Take heed.
Read again.
Take heed.
What does take heed mean, officer?
Play close attention to.
Oh, you better. You better be careful. You better be careful. You think you're up? You think you're not on drugs anymore? You think you're all for prostitutes? You think you're not what can I say? A member of the LGBTQ community, alternative lifestyle community. That's good. If you think you're up, you better watch out. You better take heed. You better be careful. Even in drug rehab programs, they tell you have to avoid places, and things that might cause you to relapse. If you're not taking heed, you're going back into the world. You're going back to drugs. You're going back to whores. You're going back to sin. I don't know how many people I've seen leave the truth for some stupid reason. And none of them say, I'm leaving the truth to smoke weed. I'm leaving this truth to smoke cigarettes. I'm leaving the truth to get high on pills and cocaine. None of them say, I'm leaving because I want to get high. And every last one of them gets high when they leave the school. Bar none. Everyone. And so will you. So what should you do? You better take heed. You're all for drugs now, you better watch out. You better be careful. You're all for Christmas now, right? You better take care. You better be careful. You'll be right back on Christmas. You're all for Valentine's Day. Be careful. You'll be right back on Valentine's Day. Take heed. Keep going.
Take heed, lest he fall.
If you don't take heed, what's going to happen, officer?
I will fall, sir.
So the Bible doesn't give you permission to fall. What did Christ say? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. That's how you got to be. Why? Who can answer this question for me? Why? Blow my mind. Because I'm up. I'm up now. So now that I'm up, I stay up. I don't allow myself to fall. So I'll ask a question again. If you are up, are you allowed to fall even once?
Lies, sir.
If you are down, if you're on drugs, if you are seeing prostitutes, if you're sleeping with women outside of your race, outside of your gente, tu gente, outside of that, remind me to the Spanish, but remind me to do my Spanish, Asher, all right?
Yes, sir.
Practicar mi español, all right? If you're down, can you get up, officer?
Kawakan.
You better get up. You better. Being down doesn't mean that you can't become righteous. If you're down, you better fight to get up. And I don't care how many times you've been down. I don't care how many times you tried getting off of weed. Brother, you better try again. I don't care how many times it was. You better try again. You better get off of weed tonight. I don't care how many years you've been trying to quit smoking. Brother, you better quit smoking again. You better do it tonight. And then once you're off of cigarettes, no one will care how long it took you to get off. No one will care. No one will care how many times you relapse once you never do it again. And if you're standing up, you better never fall, not even one time. Everyone understands.
Sir.
We'll see if you do or not. I hear him. I know you understand, Asher.
Constant.
I do not know about TikTok and Clubhouse. I think they do not understand. I think all they think is, I got plenty of time to stop smoking weed. I'm going to smoke some more. I'm going to smoke while I'm watching the class. Type into the chat room if you're getting high right now in the class. Type in.
But do it anonymously.
Who's honest? Who just confess it. What the hell? Just say yes. I'm getting high while I watch the UPK classes. Let's move on.
Sluggy, sir, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sluggy, I just wanted to.
It's Detroit, sir.
Go ahead, Detroit. You got it.
Kind of one kind, sir. I actually wanted to get a breakdown on Revelations, the 6th chapter.
I left him out on the dresser. Go ahead, Up.
Kind of this is the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder. One of the four.
I'm sorry. Did you say lamb?
Kind of, sir.
Okay, I'll give you the breakdown. You want a breakdown on this, right?
Yes, sir.
This is when John was seeing the revelation of when Christ was able to open the 7 seals that locked up the book of prophecy, that the Israelites would receive every bit of glory, every gift that the Most High has given them because of inheritance. This book was sealed up, and no one was worthy to open it. So imagine your grandfather left you, $10 million, except the will was locked up, and no one could read the will because no one was righteous enough to read what your grandfather left you. So now you're not getting that $10 million. So now what do you do now, Detroit? Go back to Detroit. I'm giving you a metaphor. This is a metaphor. It's an example just to make you understand this precept. All right? Imagine you, and that there's paperwork that says that because of who you are, because of your grandfather, because you are his grandson, he left you $10 million. But the problem is you have to be righteous enough to open up the will and read it. And you start looking for a righteous person, and there are none. There is no one that is righteous enough to read this will. And if this will was read, you would get $10 million. But you can't, because no one is righteous enough to read it. So what do you do in the meantime? What do you do because you can't get your inheritance?
I become righteous.
No one is righteous enough to open the thing. It's not talking about what you become. It's talking about what you are right now. So no one is righteous enough to read it. So no one can read it. So what do?
So you wait for somebody that's righteous.
You wait. What do you do in the meantime while you're waiting?
You become righteous.
Once again, you can become righteous all you want. It won't fix it. It's like saying, I murdered someone and went to court. And I tell the judge, listen, I'm not going to murder anybody else. I promise. I'm done murdering people. What does the judge say?
He says, he don't go off your words, basically. Like,
he don't care what you do in the future. He cares about what?
What you do now.
Yes. And what did you do now?
Kill somebody.
Yes. So what does that mean? It has to happen to you. Judgment. So it doesn't matter what you will do. What matters is what you've done. Well, without Jesus Christ, it wouldn't matter that you go become righteous. Who cares? What matters is you sold drugs. You murdered somebody. You stole from someone. So I don't care what you do in the future. You have to pay for what you've done. So no one is righteous enough to open this book because we have all done something that means we are people that don't deserve to get an inheritance. So here's all you need to understand it. What do you do since you don't have the $10 million? What do? You know what you do? You go to work. You go get a slavery. You go get a job. And your supervisor is on your back every day. And your supervisor is beating you down. Do you quit? No. Why?
Because you need it.
Because you need it. You need the money. Why do you need the money?
So I can, take care of my family. I take care of myself.
You're going to have to take care of yourself because you're not getting that inheritance. So you got to go to a slavery every day. And what house do you live in? A beautiful mansion? Huh? You live in whatever home or apartment or tent that your money will let you live in. What type of woman do you have? Whatever woman will have you sleep in that tent with you. That's it. And she's just as poor and disgusting as you are. Not getting this inheritance has ruined your life because you grew up in a terrible neighborhood. You raised terrible children in lack of everything. They went to a terrible school system. You got no health care. Everything about your life is affected because you never got your inheritance money. And that's why John cried. Now go up above it and read when John cried. He said, I wept, for there was no one worthy to open the book. Is this John, the 4th chapter?
This is the 6th chapter, sir. This is at verse 1.
Okay, go. This is the precept where John said he cried. It's either right here or in John 4. For time's sake, I might have to just tell you. Y'all brothers will find it. John said he wept when no one could open the book because he knew it meant more slavery, more poverty, more degradation, more emasculation. That's what happened this week with Rihanna and her husband. Well, without this inheritance, what are we going to do? We got to eat. We got to drink. We got to live somewhere. Since we can't get our inheritance money, we just go into slavery. And John cried. He cried so sore. An angel heard him crying. Does anyone have it yet? Send me one more time, man. You don't have it. He cried so bitterly that an angel said, John, behold, cry not, for behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah is worthy to open the book. He's worthy to open the book. He has not committed murder. He has not stolen. He has not lied. He has not done anything that would stop him from being able to open this book. So even though you and I cannot open it because of our sins, our actions, he has lived a perfect life. So he will open the book. Go ahead and read it, warrior.
Revelation chapter 5, verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon.
Keep going.
Verse 5. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book.
Yeah, brother, don't cry. We don't need to cry anymore. We can finally stop crying. For thousands of years, all we've ever had is reason to mourn, reason to be sad. I researched the history of blacks and Hispanics sometime. It'll drive you to tears. When you look at what's happening to them right now on the reservations, with the epidemic of little so-called North American and Indian girls being kidnapped and never to be seen again, it will drive you to tears. Now, why don't they just move from that reservation? On Detroit, if an epidemic of daughters are being kidnapped from the reservations, why don't they just move into a better neighborhood, Detroit?
They don't have nowhere to go.
Why not?
Because they poor.
Because they're poor, Detroit. Give them a hand. That's why. So do you understand, Detroit? Then that means if you live on a reservation and you have a 1 in 3 chance of your daughter never being born, if your daughter being kidnapped, and the only thing that will save you is moving off of the reservation, but you're too poor to even stop your daughter from being kidnapped. So you have to stay there because you can't afford to stay anywhere else. So your daughter is going to be kidnapped because you're poor. Your daughter is getting kidnapped. And you're going to play with her every day. And you're going to bounce her on your knee and laugh with her. And in the back of your mind, you'll know that more than likely you're not going to see her anymore when she gets about 12 years old because she's going to be kidnapped. All of that because you don't have enough money to move off the reservation. That's why John cried, because he knew this was happening and going to happen. He knew that being poor was going to affect us in such a deep way that our life would be a living hell. And he cried until one of the 24 elders said, don't cry, for the Lion of the tribe of Judah, he's worthy to open the book, man. He can do it. He can end this for us. He can end this for us. And he went, and as a lamb slain, he came before the throne of the living God. And the Most High looked on his sores and looked on his wounds and saw he was worthy to end this torment, to end this punishment. And then pop, 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 pop. The bands begin to be open. Now the book can be read. Now you get your 10 million. Now you get your crown. Now you get the reward for your blood because of him. Now you can become righteous. Now you can change. Now you don't have to be looked at as a murderer and a thief and a drug dealer anymore because he opened the book that gives you your inheritance. Everyone understands. Detroit. So now if you understand that, you'll understand every word you're about to read. Go ahead and read it.
Khan. One of the 4 beasts saying, come and see.
No, I mean, go back to your question now.
Oh, Khan, sir. And it says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him.
That is talking about the nation of Israel on a white horse, the most expensive, rare horse. And he has a bow in his hand, right? He has like a bow, like a staff in his hand. Oh, because he's in charge. He's ruling. That's the nation of Israel. That's your inheritance. You understand? Was this part of the thing you wanted me to break down, or was it something else?
Yes, sir. Just getting the whole understanding of the seal.
Keep going, then I gotta move fast, but keep going.
Counting with Khan. And he went forth conquering and to conquer.
You get that, don't you, warrior?
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
What's that? This is another part of your inheritance. This is judgment. This is the other nations who stole your daughters, who oppressed your people, who yea, even made you hate yourself. Now they suffer. Now they're in pain. That's the spirit of war. All of these things represent a spirit that now is loose on the earth. A spirit. The first spirit that's loosed is the spirit of a conquering nation of blacks and so-called Hispanics. Also, I need to talk to an Hispanic for a second. Give me, whoever wants to answer my question, just raise up, all right? Actually, I assume it's you, Ashley. You would like to say something about it. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir.
Salaki. So I gotta give it up to Captain Katazar, sir. He just popped out of nowhere, sir. I said I just said
he popped in right on time.
I heard you were looking for me.
All right. You know what I always wondered out? You know how we say Hispanic in the school, right?
Okay.
Okay, but I know from research under Commanding General Yohana that's a very new term, and that term includes Spaniards and it excludes people from Brazil. And before, I think the 70s, one of the words they used to use is Latino. They would use that. And other words, of course, out there in LA, they called themselves Chicanos. Okay, because Hispanic includes Spaniards, is that a less preferable phrase than Latino or some other phrase, Captain?
I think it's gonna depend on who you ask, because like Hispanic goes towards not only those who speak the language, but actually those from Hispaniola as well. And then Latino is actually catered towards those that's in what's considered Latin America. So that would be like Central and South America. So we're even divided on that term, just according to demographic, and with both terms, the Spaniards are mixed in with us.
Okay, so like your father, when he was growing up, he's old enough to probably be around when they didn't use it that much. Did your father, being from Puerto Rico, does he refer to himself as Hispanic or Latino? What does he use in New York?
Nah, he would use either Taino or Latino, and with Latino, like a lot of times he would even cut it short and just be like, "Man, that's that that's that Latin blood." So like Latin came up, you know what I'm saying, more than anything.
Latin. Now, Latin, would that include Edomites, so-called oppressors from Spain?
I think because we're all mixed in, and that's where we got it from to begin with.
Okay, boy, okay. It'll be good if there was one that excluded Spaniards. If it was one that it was clear this is not talking about Spaniards. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, like it would be indigenous. Like if we talk about the indigenous, you know what I'm saying, then now we're separating from the conquistadors because we were there pre-Columbian.
Okay, so give me the phrase. Would I say indigenous Hispanics and indigenous Latinos? Would that be good enough?
Yeah, like it would basically have to be like the indigenous of the Americas. So like, you know what I'm saying, like the indigenous Puerto Ricans, the indigenous Mexicans, the indigenous South Americans.
Okay, I'm gonna think about that and see maybe if there's a way to exclude the Hispanics. I'll go over it, of course, with Commander General Yohana and see what his will is on the whole thing. But I know that includes like those Cubans who are white people. It includes those Cubans. And I would like to exclude those Cubans who are white Cubans that America includes on so many different polls. Right. They're really talking to white people from Cuba. I just wondered about it. I meant to ask about it tonight, and I just wanted your input being Hispanic. Gracias, amigo.
They're not a.
All right, no sign correct. Let's go ahead.
So, sir, if I may quickly, if I could play a quick Passover promo, sir.
Please.
Sir.
So she asking me like, "Yo, Har, what you wearing for the Passover?" I'm like, "What else? Linen." So what you don't mind to say?
Listen. You wear that linen, you gonna be a bad motherfucker. You know, right? You gonna be a bad nigga. All right, man. Go on, man. You know what you're doing. Go ahead. Shit.
Check it out, though. On a serious note, where's Yatazar?
What?
You ain't seen him?
Yatazar. Wait, hold up. I remember, you know what I'm saying, Peace and Love said Yatazar was talking about he was going to walk.
Yeah, he was walking. I seen him. You know what I'm saying? He had a plastic bag, had a sword or something sticking out the back of the bag. He's walking off fast. On my back. Get the door. I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
He's dead serious gonna walk to North Carolina.
I mean, come on. It's like it was a video and all that, but I'm sure he's not seriously walking to the Passover.
I don't know, man. I think he's serious. Some boots was clicking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he had that bag and he was moving. I was like, what? Yeah, I called him a few times. I don't know if he had his headphones in or what, but he ain't turning around and say nothing. So I figured he was in a rush.
He's trooping, sir. He got his swords. He's ready for war.
There's no way I believe that Officer Yatazar is actually walking to the Passover. What is it, February 12th?
He said, you know the time. He said to get there, you start walking. He'd be there on time.
So you telling me that nobody knows where's Officer Yatazar?
Hey, put the PPP in. You know what I'm saying? Put it out.
Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying?
We should give him a call.
I did that already. It's going straight to voicemail.
Shit. He's good.
All I say is this, man. If he's walking the Passover, everybody else better get to the Passover too.
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time.
Clap it up. Clap it up. Outstanding work, Hakim. Let me take a few minutes to do this, all right? Paz hacia ti, mi gente. Somos la Escuela Conocimiento Práctico Universal desde 1 Oeste Calle 125, Nueva York, bajo el mando del General Yohana. Desde el 1969. Carnales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres hispano, negro o indio, nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo, el lidio de Dios. All right. Orally. Let's get it on, Akim. Next.
So, I have a question here, sir, that was texted to me.
Mm-hmm.
This question is in Ezekiel 13 and 18. Someone can pull it. Ezekiel 13 and 18. The question reads, hold on. The question reads, they would like a breakdown for where it specifically says the armholes. Armholes.
All right. Someone can read? I'm ready.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 13, verse 18. And say, thus saith the Most High Power, woe to the woman that sew pillows to all armholes, and make kerchiefs upon the head of every stature to hunt souls.
Does that word say stature or statue?
Stature.
I got you. Read it one more time.
And say, thus saith the Most High Power, woe to the
Okay,
woman.
now, I think I got it. Let me just, for time's sake, that
Come
term
on.
pillows is talking about bracelets. Double check to make sure I'm remembering it correctly in your Zondervan Bible Dictionary. That term pillows means bracelets. And they would sew handkerchiefs on heads because remember, a woman must cover her head, right? Cover her head to show that she is obedient to the Most High God. And so they would sew these things into women's heads. To make it simpler, think about how a nun dresses. Like a nun is like that habit that they call that thing on a nun wears is called a habit. And it's, she never removes it. She's never seen ever without having her habit on. Muslim women as well. They're never seen ever without having their Muslim headgear. And what does that make you think? It makes you think that they're righteous. Well, at one time in Israel, women, they would just take women of prominence, women who everyone respected, meaning rich women. Rich women, they would make these rich women the kind of woman that everyone idolized. And they would make her and tell everyone that she was the most righteous. And so she wore so many bracelets around her wrists because having money meant that God favored her. And she had always had her habit on or her headdress on no matter what, because that meant she was righteous, like a nun. But meanwhile, she worshiped another God, just like a nun and just like a Muslim woman. Everyone understands?
Come on, sir.
All right, next.
Like, sir, I believe Chicago had a question.
Chi-Town, you're up.
Hey, Shalom. Salih, sir, I got a question in Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 through 8. If I could get a general breakdown, I'm trying to understand the firmament.
Go ahead. Where are we at again? Genesis?
Sir, chapter 1, verse 6.
Okay, give me a picture of the ozone layer. The firmament is the ozone layer. That's it. If you want to get a picture of it, someone show me the earth and show me a depiction of the earth and the ozone layer. That's the firmament because it's firm and solid. And our oppressor is trying his best to destroy it every damn day and wiping it out. That's why you need so much rocket fuel to break through it to get to outer space. It's supposed to keep everything from outer space out of the earth. At the same time, it keeps our oppressor trapped on the earth and he can't have it. That's the ozone layer right here. Do you see this, warrior? Make this one on the end right here bigger. This one with the circles, the earth in the middle. Not that one that you got on the screen, the other one. Up top, right there. That one is good and simple. That's how you visualize it. That's the firmament. Do you understand that? Real science is in the Bible. Science and the Bible do not contradict each other. Creation is in the Bible. What is a contradiction to science is the belief that there is no God. That is a direct contradiction to science. If you don't believe in God, you don't believe in science. You don't believe in it because there could be no creation without a creator. And that is true in science. It's true for everything that is created. Everything that is created got created by somebody. But when it comes to nature, atheists say, well, no one did that. Well, come on now. Show me something else that nobody did. Somebody made that car. Somebody made that TV. Somebody made that pit bull. Somebody made that. There would be no pit bulls without creators, without breeders. Without someone has to breed pit bulls, breed German shepherds, breed dog breeds and cat breeds. Someone has to want a breed for it to exist. Come on, I got to move on. That's the firmament, all right? Anything else?
The water, sir.
No sweat. Next.
Sir, I have a question that was on Clubhouse. A sister would like a breakdown of Luke chapter 6, verse 27 and 8. Baba Shah, someone in the room get it? Luke chapter 6, verse 27 and 28. And the question is he referring to enemies of Israel or brothers and sisters?
Read it.
Luke chapter 6, verse 27 through 28.
Khan, it's the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 27. But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you.
He's talking to Israel. And it goes into the topic I have to go into tonight as well. This is talking about black people, because you will never hate white people, ever. Never. Who can give me the reason why? Let the same sister answer. This is a scripture telling you you should love your enemies. Is it necessary for anyone to tell you to love white people? Ever?
No, sir.
I want the sister to answer, because
This
Christians have
from
used...
this from earlier during the class.
Sorry.
I don't think I see her.
Well, let
Actually,
me
yes, I see her right here.
Let me get someone online to answer this question.
Hold on,
Because
sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
I'm inviting her to the stage. I see her right now.
All right. Let's see.
Aisha Dara on Clubhouse.
Give Aisha Dara a hand. Give her a hand.
Can you unmute your mic, Aisha? Aisha Dara, can you unmute your mic?
Shalom.
Shalom, sis. Shalom, Aisha. Yahweh Shemalah, Bashem Yahweh Shai, the water sister. Sister, I know you know that the Christians always use this precept to say that black people should love white people. Is that correct?
Khan.
This scripture is not talking. This scripture is not talking about loving white people. This scripture is telling black people to love other black people, to love Hispanics, for Hispanics to love black people and to love other Hispanics. This scripture could never mean for black people to love white people, because there is no reason at all that black people need to be taught into loving white people. Do you know why that is?
Because of what they did to us, and they're not like our brothers and sisters, sir.
It's a little worse than that, sister. Let's say I decide tonight, I say I'm not going to love white people anymore, right? And where do I work tomorrow? Where do I go to work tomorrow?
Our slavery.
And who owns it?
Edomites.
And let's say I say I'm not going to love white people anymore. Where do I buy my groceries from?
From the Edomites.
Let's say I'm not going to love white people anymore, so I'm going to go buy a farm. Who do I buy it from?
The Edomites, sir.
Who do I pay the taxes on the farm to?
The Edomites, sir.
Do you have any pets?
Khan, sir.
What do you have?
I have a pit bull.
Let's say your pit bull. Do I have to convince your pit bull to love you?
No, sir.
Why?
Because I feed them and take care of them,
and so if your pit bull stops loving you, what happens?
He probably would die. He probably wouldn't survive.
He wouldn't survive. You don't need to convince black people to love white people. Poverty convinces black people to love white people. Poverty. We need white people. We need white people just like your dog needs you. Now, you have a pit bull. That's an intimidating dog, right? It's a scary dog with big, long teeth, right? But who's that dog's master?
I am.
Yes, you are. And who is the master of black people and Hispanics?
The Most High.
I wish. I wish. Black people don't ever need to be told to love white people, Because if we don't love white people, we won't survive, just like a dog. But there is someone that you can hate and you won't lose your job. There's someone that you can hate and you might get a better job. Who are you allowed to hate, sister?
Each other.
Each other. This scripture is about loving each other. Loving each other. That's what this scripture is about. And yeah, this is right on my topic. How many more questions do we have?
We got a bunch of questions, sir. And it's 8:30.
What should I do, Ashley? Should I do 5 more minutes of questions or do it to stop?
Concert, I think 5 more minutes of questions. And then
Sister, just stand by. Sister, this scripture is only about us loving each other because Christ had to convince us to love each other. Christ did not have to convince us to love white people. If you want food, you'll be polite to a white person. If you want a bank loan, have you ever wanted a bank loan, sister?
Just an interview today.
Sir.
Well, you're going to learn to be nice to white people then. If you want a bank loan.
Business.
If you ever wanted a car loan, have you ever wanted to live in a nice neighborhood, you don't need to teach slaves to be nice to their master. The whip teaches you.
Right.
The whip, the gun, the police. But you do need to convince people to be nice to other black people because otherwise they'll never do it. Because you have every reason to hate other black people. Everybody understand. Other Hispanics. I'll answer your question. Do you understand now, sister, or is that it?
Khan.
I appreciate you, Sister Wada. Give her a hand, everyone. Asher, you're up.
Oh, so Yatazar, sir.
If I may, real quick, Adawan. In the book of Job, the 3 brothers, Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar, it gives where they were from, Timonite, Shushite, and Nahamathite, but it doesn't say for Job. Were they not from Job's family?
Yeah, this is the story of Job predates Israel. So it's like being from Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, it's before Israel. They were Job's friends. It doesn't indicate that they were, you know, his close family members, but this is at a time before the nation of Israel. Remember, Abraham prayed for Sodom. He prayed for Sodom and Gomorrah because there were so many people from Shem who were in Sodom and Gomorrah, who were Shemitic. So imagine before Israel, we love the people who came of Adam's seed, who came from Shem's seed. So these were all people who were from the same seed as him. They were his friends, but they weren't close to him like, you know, an Israelite would be today. Because this story predates Israel. It's extremely old. You understand? Just so you know, none of them were what you would consider heathens today, because what you would consider heathens did not exist at that time. Do you understand? All right. This is when people were Adamites, you know. They were Shemites, which is where the oppressor gets the term anti-Semitic.
Right.
This time they were just Shemitic. And that's that. Next.
Okay. One more question, sir.
Go ahead.
This one is from a person named Jimmy. They would like a breakdown on Isaiah 58 and 13. If someone can pull that, Isaiah 58 and 13. And their question is, how should we keep the Sabbath?
No problem, Jimmy Remy. How should you keep the Sabbath? This is what you want to do. If you own a business, if you own Walmart and you own supermarkets, then you should stop forcing your blacks and Hispanics to work on the Sabbath day. That's what you should do. You should let them off. If you own a hospital, you should let blacks and Hispanics go home and not have to work in the hospital on the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is a rule for employers, not employees. When the Most High said, you shall do no servile work on the Sabbath, you think about it like, don't you do any servile work on the Sabbath. That's not what the Most High is saying. The Most High is saying, when I'm in charge, you're not going to work on the Sabbath. That's what it's saying. You shall do no servile work on the Sabbath, meaning you're not going to have to work on the Sabbath anymore. Like people would force you in Egypt to work on the Sabbath. We got these laws leaving Egypt, and the Egyptians forced us to work on the Sabbath. We made brick, and we made Pharaoh's tombs on the Sabbath day. Well, you shall not work. You shall not do any servile work. What's the key word with that? Servile, servant. No one forces you to work on the Sabbath in the kingdom of heaven. So if you're an employer, stop being a greedy bastard and forcing people to work on their day off. If you want to understand it best, imagine if your job forced you to work on Sunday. You would say, this is some BS, man. It's Sunday. I'm supposed to be off. Well, Saturday is your day off. Sunday is not your day off. You can work on Sunday, but the Christian church has switched it. So now you expect to be off on Sunday and you work on Saturday when it should be switched. You should expect to be off on Saturday and you should work on Sunday. That's the Sabbath day. It's something that your boss breaks, not you. Your boss breaks it, not you. Everybody understands.
Come on.
But don't worry.
Everybody.
Don't worry, because with enough power, you shall do no servile work on the Sabbath day. That's happening. Please. In New York, let's go fast.
Salakia, sir.
What? Go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy.
Salakia, I had a question.
Go ahead.
You had mentioned hospitals. How would that work, like in the kingdom, like as far as like an actual hospital, which pretty much has to run 24/7? How would that work as far as the Sabbath day?
The hospital. Well, do you know there was a time hospitals didn't work 24/7? What happened? Someone came to your house when you were sick. They made house calls. Like the whole concept of hospitals going 24/7, that's fairly current. But there was a time when if you were pregnant, if you were in need of help, someone came to your house. Someone walked in your door, came to your house, came upstairs and tended to you, and people did not work 24 hours a day. Now, let's say you got sick on the Sabbath day. Let's say you were ill on the Sabbath day. Could someone help you who was a doctor or a nurse?
Kind of concept, if I may, Christ said, is it unlawful to do good on the Sabbath day?
Shalom. It is not unlawful to do good on the Sabbath. So to save someone's life, to tend to the sick, you absolutely can work on the Sabbath. The reason I brought up the hospital is because in Jewish hospital, can I say Jewish?
Yes, sir.
In Jewish hospitals, they do not push an elevator button on Saturday, but they hire West Indian women to push the button. They don't do anything. If you ever go to a hospital, they have a Sabbath elevator, Shabbat elevator, and they don't push the button. They hire a black woman. Usually, it's a West Indian woman,
right?
Who works, and she pushes the elevator button. She heats up all the food. Right. They make her work on the Sabbath day in Mount Sinai Hospital, right there in New York, in Harlem.
If I may, sir.
Come on.
I had I've been working up about Crown Heights. I know you remember that area from where the riots were with Amalek. One of them asked me to do that last week. I was telling Cap Kataza, like, excuse me, can you come in and turn off all the lights? We can't turn off the lights.
Oh, Abadja. What'd you tell him about you? What'd you do?
I looked at him and just walked away and said,
"Give Abadja a hand." That's what I mean.
But if I could, just one last thing, just to clarify, that's unlawful, right? Like literally nothing can work on the Sabbath day, including
one more time.
If I may, that's unlawful. Like even animals cannot work on the Sabbath day. If I'm not mistaken.
No. Okay, that heathen, he could have pushed that button.
Right.
He could have did it. He would not have been breaking the commandments of God to push that button. But he did break the commandments by telling you to do it.
Right.
So if he goes and pushes the button, what kind of work is that?
None at all.
None at all. But when he says, Hey, Abadja, you push the button. Then what kind of work is that?
He's making me do server work.
That is servant work because you're his servant. On
Right.
the Sabbath, you got to push your own buttons.
Right.
You got to light your own fires.
Right.
You got to cook your own food. You can't force your employees to work. So
Right.
if I'm a man trying to keep the Sabbath and I'm rich, I'm working all Sabbath. Why? Abadja.
Because I can't get anybody else to do it.
Because I can't make anybody else do it. So for rich people, one day of the week, they be cooking their own food.
Right.
They be turning on their own lights. They say,
Right.
damn, what's today? Saturday? Shit, the maid doesn't come in on Saturday. The chauffeur is not in on Saturday. On Saturday, I got to drive myself. On Saturday, I got to cook for myself because it's Saturday. So on Saturday, I have to push the buttons because I can't tell Abadja to do it. The so-called Jew is breaking the Sabbath every time he asked a black person to do work for him on the Saturday.
Right.
Do you understand?
Concept.
It's a law. It's a law for bosses, for rich people. It is not a law for you. That's what he thinks. He thinks it's a law for him. So that's why he can't push the button, but he can force you to do it. But if he pushed it, he would not be doing servile work because he is not a servant. He's a boss.
Right.
But if you push it, it's servile work because you're a servant. I gotta move on.
Concept. If I'm just one last thing. I remember years ago you explained that you can take your woman dancing on the Sabbath, but as far as like the DJ, if it's an establishment like that, the DJ, the bartender, how does that work out?
If the DJ is being forced to work, then that's between him and that boss. You are not breaking the Sabbath by dancing. You're not doing it at all. You can dance on the Sabbath. Listen, and let me tell you another thing. If the DJ believes that his bills are so far behind that he has to work on the Sabbath, he can work on the Sabbath. Precept.
Salakia, sir.
Let Abadja answer.
Salakia, sir, the donkey in the ditch.
Thank you, Abadja. The water. Gracias. Which one of you had if he had his ox in a ditch on the Sabbath, would not suffer to have him taken out of that ditch? Everybody would get their ox out of a ditch, get themselves out of a jam, get themselves out of a problem on the Sabbath. They would do it 6,000 years ago. They would do it. That DJ is not committing a sin by playing songs on the Sabbath. Who is sinning? The boss. The Watermayan. The boss is committing a sin. The Sabbath day rules apply to bosses, not servants, but bosses. Bosses are sinning. You're not sinning if you go to dance, and the DJ is not sinning by playing the songs. Do you understand?
Concept.
Next.
Concert is time to move on, Bubba Shaw.
Clap it up. Ooh-wee.
Sir, do you want me to play that video you sent me?
Almost. First, I would like to discuss something that the Israelite School of UPK pioneered and championed with exposing different mental disorders that blacks and Hispanics have taken on throughout our many years of oppression. The first one that only the Israelite School of UPK under commanding General Yohana exposed is that the fact that blacks and Hispanics have Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. What is Stockholm syndrome? It is hypervigilance towards one's oppressor. It was brung into popular culture because of Patty Hearst back in the 60s. Patty Hearst was kidnapped by a black revolutionary group. One day she robbed a bank, dressing like them with one of their guns. She robbed the bank with this black revolutionary group. When she was captured by the police, her defense was, I have Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is a syndrome that was discovered and studied in Stockholm, Sweden. It was when a person is kidnapped and taken by another person to eat, and for survival, you begin to want to please your oppressor, to please your captor. Patty Hearst was kept in a closet for months. Over time, if she was a good person, they gave her rice, they gave her water, and she began to want to please them. So then they let her out of the closet because she was behaved. Then she began to act just like her oppressor. She was hyper vigilant to their needs, to what they liked. And before you know it, she put on a black beret and sunglasses and was robbing a bank for the Black Revolution. When she went to court, Patty Hearst was born to a rich white family, the Hearst family, which is a famous family, rich because of newspapers. And she said, I robbed that bank because they brainwashed me. Before you know it, I wanted to please them. And I began to do whatever they wanted me to do to please them because they kept me in a closet until I pleased them. The Israelite School of UPK taught the world that black people suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, just like Patty Hearst. After being captives here for so long, we have a white God and a white Jesus, and we think like white people. We act like white people. We want to please white people because we don't want to be in chains anymore. We don't want to be trapped anymore. So we are hyper vigilant to their needs, to what makes them uncomfortable, to what makes them happy. The Israelite School of UPK taught the world that blacks and Hispanics have Stockholm Syndrome. Does everyone understand? Now, tonight, I'm going to give you a new mental disorder that I know you've seen, especially on Clubhouse. Where's Clubhouse at? Give me a 1 on Clubhouse. Clubhouse, you see this every day. Send me one more time with the chaser, Mayam. Clubhouse, you see this every day. YouTube, you see this every day. There is a new mental disorder that we're going to make you aware of tonight. Put it up on the screen, please, Asher.
Got it right here, sir.
What's the name of it?
Internalized racism.
Internalized racism. Internalized racism is a disorder that no one discusses, that you encounter every day on social media. Every day you see this. Let me give you a key. When everyone says, I don't care that those cops kill black people. What about how when black people kill black people? What about how we do this and how we do that? Or when someone says nigger, like it's an insult, even though they are black or they're Hispanic. That's internalized racism. And scientists and sociologists have studied this for years. It's also coupled with another disorder. Give me the other disorder. You have it?
No, sir, that's the only one you sent me.
I gave you 2 of them. The other link.
You gave me this one, and then you sent me the video. Let me just double check.
And then there's one more.
It's like, sir, that's the only 2 I have.
No problem. Hold on 1 second. Stand by. Asher. Stand by. Bobbity. Okay. Let me give you this one right here, all right?
Go on, sir.
Here's the other one. These 2 go hand in hand. It's called the psychology. Let me know when you get it, Asher.
Go on, sir. I'm looking up right now.
No, go, Asher.
Got it right here, sir.
The water. Here you go. Here's the other one. The self-blame, the psychology of self-blame. This is something Commandant General Yohana has been teaching about, my God, since the 80s. The psychology of self-blame. When you blame yourself for what oppression has done to you, it's a psychological disorder. The self-blame psychology and internal racism. We can start wherever you want. Let's go back to internal racism, and then we'll go into self-blame psychology. Go ahead, Asher.
Concern. Internalized racism is a form of internalized oppression.
It's a form of internalized oppression. When blacks and Hispanics go through so much oppression externally, being beaten, being degraded, being emasculated, before you know it, you begin to believe the oppression is right, that you deserve it, that there's something wrong with you, that because you're so weak, that's why this happened to you. Keep going.
Concern. Internalized racism is a form of internalized oppression defined by sociologist Karen D. Pike as the internalization of racial oppression by the racial subordinate.
By the what?
By the racial subordinated.
This, you have seen this your entire life. We're discussing right now on an intellectual level. You've seen this your entire life. It's why those 4 black cops killed that brother. Because now they are racist against black people because they hate black people because they believe that there is a flaw in black culture that causes white people to hate us. They believe it's our fault. And we're the reason for it. That if we could be nicer, if we could be more dignified and talk better and behave better, then white people wouldn't be killing us. They internalize it. They blame themselves. Keep going.
Yes, sir. In her study, The Psychology of Racism, Robin Nicole Johnson emphasizes that internalized racism involves both conscious and unconscious acceptance of a racial hierarchy in which
you accept a racial hierarchy. You accept that we're niggers, and because we're niggers or we're spics, white people are better than us. And because they're better than us, we should behave like them. And any behaving like you're black is in essence you causing white people to hate you. It's causing the police to hate you. You're blasting that rap music. You playing that rap music. You're causing white people to pull you over. You're wearing hoodies. And you won't. And when a white cop, let me tell you what I found this week, which I'm shocked every time I see it. Black people saying, when the cops pull you over, why can't you just do what the cop tells you to do? Why can't you just obey the police officer? What's wrong with you? Raise your hand if you heard people say that in the last few weeks. That is a psychological disorder. It's a disorder. It's a disease in your mind. It's internalized racism. And we're going to read it and why it comes about and why it happens. It's a psychological disorder. Keep going.
Yes, sir. Conscious and unconscious acceptance of a racial hierarchy in which whites are consistently ranked above people of color.
So it's sometimes you know you're doing it. Sometimes you don't even know you're doing it. Let me give you the one that is subconscious. If you ever argue with a black person and you find yourself calling him a nigger in the argument, that's subconscious racism. It's subconscious. You don't realize it. If you're arguing like, move your car, nigger, you nigger, I'm tired of you, nigger, you better stop, nigger. And when it's happening, I always go, damn, that's 2 black people talking. But Okay, they're using nigger like a racial slur. Raise your hand if you've seen this before in your life. Everyone has. When you get two black people, well, excuse me, brother, that's my bag. No, that's my bag. Nigga, you better shut up. No, you shut up, nigga. Damn. We're both niggers. Both of us are niggers. How could you use nigger in a racial way when we're both niggers? You see this TikTok? This is all over TikTok. This is Charleston White. This is Whack 100. This is the entire TikTok universe and YouTube universe. You shut your mouth, nigger. Who you talking to, nigger? How could that insult me? How could you saying nigger be an insult to me when we're both niggers? It's subconscious. They don't realize they're doing it. But when they see your face, they think, who this nigger think he is? Who's this nigger talking to me like that? You a little nigger. I don't know this nigger. Look at this nigger coming around here talking like that. Who you think you are, nigger? Nigger, you ain't shit. I thought we were both niggers. It's subconscious. You don't know you're doing it. But you're racist. You have internalized racism. And this psychologist, this sister has studied it and gotten a doctorate on it. She's gotten a doctorate. She's a doctor from studying your illness in your mind. Keep going.
Yes, sir. Concert. It says, these definitions encompass a wide range of instances, including, but not limited to, belief in negative stereotypes.
Belief in what?
Negative stereotypes.
Niggas always doing this, and niggas always doing that. You can't trust a nigger. No. You can't trust no nigger. I don't trust no nigger. No, never trust no nigger. You can't have no nigger doing this, and you can't have no nigger doing that. Damn. I thought we were both niggers. I thought you were a nigger, so I can't trust you doing anything? And if you can't trust a nigger, why am I talking to you? You're a nigger. Why do I have to believe you? Nah, niggas ain't shit. No, niggas are always trying to do this. Niggas are always trying to do that. You see, because niggas is like this. That's why niggas like that. You believe the stereotypes of lying devils that aren't true. Let me give you a stereotype that's not true. Black niggers are violent. Black people, statistically, historically, are not a tenth as violent as white people. White people are violent, brother, on a level you don't understand. You listen to rap music and hip-hop music, and you look at your black neighborhood and the murder rate in Chicago. Chicago, you got a pretty big murder rate, right?
Kind of what kind?
Compare that to World War I and World War II. That's all. That's white on white crime. World War I, World War II. Compare that to Chernobyl. Compare that to the Russian occupation of Stalingrad. Compare that to Adolf Hitler. Can you understand how many other white people have been killed by white people? Can you even fathom the numbers out? You know what? Give me Joseph Stalin. How many people did Joseph Stalin kill? He's the Russian. He was in charge of Russia, the Soviet Union. That's one regime in Russia. One. Give me how many people John Gotti killed. Give me how many people, what's that name cat? The bull. The mafia cat, the rat. I forget his name. One of those Italian names, the bull. Give me how many people he killed. You think Young Thug and the Chicago people, you think O Block are murderers? Are you out of your damn mind? You don't even understand. It is a stereotype. You think black on black crime is real crime? You think that is anything when it comes to this world? White on white crime is a plague like the COVID-19 virus. They kill millions of white people. Millions of them. Not your petty numbers in Chicago. Give me some stats, please. Anybody. Give me
Sammy the Bull confessed to murdering 19 people, sir.
How many?
19 people.
Who are we talking about?
Sammy the Bull.
Sammy the Bull is he confessed to all these murders because he knew he had to confess to them or else later on he could be convicted of them. This is one white man now. One white man. He killed 19 people. Who do you think is evil? Your O Block? Huh? What do you think? You think your O Block is real criminals? Is that what you think, Chicago? You think the Wild 100 is really wild? 63rd Street?
Lie, sir.
You're not even real criminals.
God.
You're not even real criminals. That's a real criminal. He pulled the trigger on 19 people. What do you think? This cat that killed 3 people is the gangster of all gangsters? He's not. He's nothing compared to the mafia. It's a nothing. Give me, what do you have?
Stalin, hold on, it's like about you. John Stalin said he killed about almost up to 9 million people.
Say it again, please.
Joseph Stalin killed about 9 million people.
Who can guess what the race of those people he killed were? Take a guess. Huh? Yeah, what was the race? What race were they? Detroit? Detroit, you got it.
They were white people, sir.
They were white people. Like that's white on white crime. That's one man. He killed 9 million people. 9 million. That's one white man. I didn't talk about the other people in Russia. I didn't go into Lenin. I didn't go into him or Trotsky. God damn, George Bush Jr., George W. Bush. He invaded Iraq, and they did not have weapons of mass destruction. He killed 3 million people. Do you know how many people Al Capone? Look at how many people Al Capone killed in Chicago. Since Chicago is the worst city in the world with the worst niggas in the world. Look how many people Al Capone killed in Chicago. Whenever you get it, let me know.
I got two stats for you, sir. Mussolini in the 1920s killed over 2,000 political opponents.
Yeah.
Al Capone is responsible for over 200 murders.
Al Capone killed 200 people himself. This thing about black people being the worst criminals is a myth, and the myth didn't even exist until the civil rights movement. Before the civil rights movement, black people were considered to be docile. Why? Because we were servants. We were Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima. We were step and fetch it. We were dancing Bojangles. We were the nicest people in the world because we pushed elevator buttons for white people, because we helped them. But when black people wanted civil rights, that's when they became criminals. They all became criminals when they wanted to not be beaten to death because they wanted to vote. That's when black people became criminals. Hispanics, before Hispanics started to become a power in America, Hispanics were gardeners. They were just gardeners, and everyone wanted a gardener. But it wasn't until Hispanics wanted power in America that they became the cartels. They're the evil cartels. Now they're evil now because they don't want to be your footstool anymore. So now they become evil. That is a myth. It's a stereotype that is not true. There is no crime bigger than white on white crime.
So like
It is the largest crime. Asher.
The KKK is responsible for over 4,400 lynchings in America.
The KKK has killed 4,400 people. Lynchings, and theirs were black people. Do you understand? It's an internalized lie. that you believe for survival's sake. Keep going.
Sir. It says here that, I'm going to read the sentence again, sir. These definitions encompass a wide range of instances, including but not limited to belief in negative stereotypes, adaptations to white cultural standards, and thinking that supports the status quo.
You get my point, meaning you adapt yourself to white cultural standards. You have to talk white, act white, behave like a white man, and if you do that, that's what's good. Read the last part after that.
And thinking that supports the status quo, such as denying that racism exists.
Yeah, meaning if you don't hate niggers, you are against society because society hates black people. Society hates Mexicans. And before you know it, you'll be a self-hating Mexican because it supports the society. George Lopez is a comedian who is famous for hating other Mexicans. He can't stand them. George Lopez cannot stand other Mexicans. He hates them. You can go look it up on YouTube. George Lopez hates Mexican comedians. He always has. I'm from the tribe of Judah. I know this too well. We can't stand each other. You never knew where it came from. It's because you have learned the racism of your oppressor. So now you hate black people too. You hate them just to see that nigger moving in over here. Look at them niggas. You niggas always are talking about this and talking about that. I can't go over there. Why can't you go over there? Too many niggers over there. Too many niggers on that side of town. That is a psychological disorder. A woman got a doctorate on it. It's called internalized racism. Skip me down to some of, let me see the screen, Asher.
Yes, sir.
Skip me down. Go down. Terminology. Keep going. Give me some other categories of this.
Here when I go,
just give me self-hate syndrome.
Yes,
give
sir.
me self. This is the basis of it right here. This is where it starts. This is where it starts. There's a syndrome called a psychology called self-hate psychology. Let me give it to you in a nutshell. A lot of lesbians, what they call studs today. Back when I was young, we called them bull daggers, my young. They were called bull daggers. I believe you call them studs today. Is that right, Asher, or not?
That's one of the terms.
One of the terms. Well, a stud or a bull dagger is a woman who was raped or molested as a child. And she blames herself for it, meaning she was too weak. She was so feminine and weak. And because she was weak, that's why that man molested her. So to make sure that she never gets molested again, she's strong now. She's strong. She becomes a man so that she can never be a victim again. That is self-hatred. It's the psychology of self-hatred. When you become like the person who hurt you because you believe that the reason you were hurt was your fault. It was your fault. This is what Commanding General Yohana has been saying for years. It is a disease in your mind. Everything wrong with blacks and Hispanics is the fault of white people. Everything. There is nothing. Even Charleston White and Whack 100 and Uncle Ruckus are the fault of white people. You can't, a lot of you hate Charleston White because you see him and now you see how he loves to change his voice and talk white when he calls the police, and he hates rap music, and he blames black people whenever a black cop kills a black person. He says, you should be blaming black people. They don't care when black people kill other black people. That is in this psychological report. That exact same thing. Find that for me in internal racism. When white people hurt black people, you say, well, don't we hurt ourselves? Don't we commit crime? That is to get people's mind off of the fact that white people murder us, that the police murder us. Keep going, Asher. I'm going to pull it for you.
Consa, this is self-blame. Self-blame psychology is a cognitive process in which an individual attributes the occurrence of a stressful event to oneself.
So you get a stressful event, like the police killing black people, like Trayvon Martin being killed, like all of the instances where we're murdered by our oppressor. And instead you say, we should have did what the cops told us to do. We should have just put our hands up. We shouldn't have war. The IUIC blamed Trayvon Martin because they said, why didn't you stop when that white man told you to stop? The white man told you to stop. You're supposed to stop. The IUIC, the Israelite Church of Universal Jesus or Christ or something, they believe that it was Trayvon Martin's fault because he didn't obey that white man.
Right.
Charleston White believes that whenever the cops kill a black person, it's black people's fault because you're killing yourselves. You shooting yourselves. That's why police are killing you. That is a psychological disease according to doctors. According to doctors, that's a disease. I'm going to read it tonight. Keep going.
Self-blame, Slakia. The direction of blame often has implications for individuals' emotions and behaviors during and following stressful situations.
Keep going.
Self-blame is a common reaction to stressful events and has certain effects on how individuals adapt.
Keep going.
Types of self-blame are hypothesized to contribute to depression, and self-blame is a component of self-directed emotions like guilt and self-disgust.
You self what?
Self-disgust.
Self what?
Self-disgust.
When you go through trauma and you say, I'm disgusted with myself. I hate rap music because rap music is why the police kill us. It's my fault. It's our fault. It's the rap. Let me tell you something. Listen very carefully. Black people selling drugs and destroying their community and being poor has saved lives. Listen carefully. And then I want Clubhouse to answer my question if you've ever read a book on history in your life. Black people kill each other. Black people sell drugs. Black people don't own any businesses. Black people destroy their own neighborhoods. I'm telling you, it's a historical fact that has saved lives. It saved lives. Your destruction of yourself has saved lives. Who would like to answer me? Detroit, I know you know already, so I'm going to not take it from you. Okay, jealous, something learned from white people who have mastered the art of
Jealous is trying to say that, trying to bring out or highlight all the black.
No, I want to know this. The things about black people that you're ashamed of, the things about Hispanics that you're ashamed of, aren't you ashamed of your community? You don't have any businesses. You don't do anything for yourself. You have Detroit. Your city, Detroit, is the laughing stock of America. I know you know that already, right? It's the city that everyone discusses to say this is a terrible city full of niggas that don't have anything. You're poor and you're suffering, and everyone looks to Detroit when they want to say Detroit is garbage. Chicago, your city is the laughing stock of America. Whenever they want to talk about a destroyed city with no black businesses, no black prosperity, no safety, they bring up Detroit. Harlem, your city is the most historically embarrassing city on the planet.
Right.
There is no city more embarrassing historically than Harlem, New York. There's a video of Elijah Muhammad saying Malcolm X is so brave because he goes to a city that no one would go to. he goes to Harlem. That's on YouTube with Elijah Muhammad talking about the fact that Malcolm X even went to Harlem meant he was brave beyond every other Muslim. No one would go to Harlem because Harlem is historically violent and poor and disgusting and full of rats. Y'all brothers out here don't know. There are rats in Harlem, brother. It takes courage to just be there. It takes courage because of the rats. Raise your hand in Harlem if you know about the rat problem. Raise your hand. Y'all see that, right? Let me see the sister hand. Sister, do you know about the rats in Harlem? No. Say again?
She said no, sir.
The Lord is with her. There are so many rats, Sock. You won't even understand what I'm talking about. You're going to think I'm exaggerating if I was to talk about it. I mean a city of rats where you look across the street and there is a rat convention right there in front of you. Now, let me ask all of these cities. We got Harlem, Chicago, and Detroit. The destruction of your cities has saved lives. You save lives. Who can explain? Now, I know you don't explain because you know. Give me someone from Chat House or Clubhouse or the other thing. Clubhouse, answer my question. No one wants to give it a shot? Clubhouse, I'm telling you that black people selling drugs and destroying their cities has saved lives. You want to explain or not? Or do I have to do it? Clubhouse? Oh, you don't know your history. You don't study. There was a time black people had businesses. They had airports. They had hospitals. There was a time Detroit was a thriving city. Chicago, thriving. Harlem, thriving. What was the city? Rosewood, thriving. There was a time when black people had thriving metropolises in America. And what happened? White people came and killed everybody and burned those cities down. Do you understand that if your cities succeed, white people would burn them to the ground and kill everyone in your city? How do I know? Because it happened over and over again. Black people stopped trying to get businesses because white people kept burning them down every time they built a business. Do you know during the time of the Depression, when white people were poor, a white man would walk in your door and take your food. He would take it from you. If he smelled cooking in a black neighborhood, white people would simply get on trucks, go into black neighborhoods, and raid your homes for food. And there was no one that would help you. Your success drew white people's anger. So you stopped succeeding. You stopped trying. Because success got you killed. What happened? You know what white people say? You should join the military. You should join the military because then you'll have self-respect. You'll respect your country. You'll respect America. You'll be a good citizen. If you join the military, you're going to get killed because you join the military. Does anyone want to give me the historical fact? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Oh, y'all don't study. You're not in the UPK. Go look up to see what happened to black people when they came home from war in World War II with those military uniforms on. Chicago.
Salakia, sir, they were found all over the country, lynched and hung in their uniforms.
When black people joined the military and came back from World War II and wore that military, they became part of the 4,000 people that the Ku Klux Klan hung. If you tried to have self-esteem, if you tried to be an American, if you tried to have a business, if you tried to have a good neighborhood, you were killed. Now you don't try. You're saving your life. Because if white people, Chicago, the minute white people see that city bustling and thriving and doing well, you know what the north side, where do white people live in Chicago?
So I can show the north side.
Yeah, the north side is coming to kill everybody on the south side and on the west side. They're coming to kill you. How do I know? Because they've done it already. They already did it. This is history. This is not science fiction. I'm telling you about something that has happened already. Black people went and signed up to go to war to fight for their country. They came home and they got lynched because they fought for their country. What do black people do now? Smoke weed and stay on the block. And it has saved their life. They're alive because of it. You can't blame black people for anything. Even Charleston White and WAC 100, you can hear that they hate black people. Everyone can hear that. They hate black people. Gangs are formed because they hate black people. They want to kill somebody black. Crips and Bloods, if you did not kill black people, you would have been wiped out a long time ago. You saved your life by killing Crips. Bloods, you saved your life by killing, vice versa, Bloods and Crips killing each other. Listen, man, you saved your life. Because if you turned your anger on the real oppressor, you would have been murdered and killed in the 70s. But the Crips and Bloods are still around today, right or wrong? Am I right? They're still around, which means they killed the right people. They're still here. They wouldn't be here if they killed the wrong people. You understand? They saved their lives by making sure they kill Crips and Bloods. They save lives because if they turned their anger on white people, they would have been gone back in the 70s, like so many other groups who are gone. Everyone understands.
Sir, if I may.
Please.
Sir, I just want to kindly inform you that the time is 9:22, sir.
Keep going. Wrap it up. I'm going to read some more of these psychology. Keep
Yes,
going.
sir.
I'm about to go back to self-hatred.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
going.
Because of self-blame's commonality in response to stress and its role in emotion, self-blame should be examined using psychology's perspectives on stress and coping. This article will attempt to give an overview of the contemporary study.
Keep going. Skip down the next topic. The next one. Go ahead.
While conceptualization of stress have differed, the most dominant accounts in current psychology are appraisal-based models of stress.
Mm-hmm.
These models define stress as a reaction to a certain type of subjective appraisal done by an individual of the circumstances he or she is in.
Skip that. This is too dark, man. Can I lighten this up? Go ahead. Skip down. More theories. Go down to theories.
Sir. Theories of self-blame. Characterological and behavioral self-blame. A classification of self-blame into a characterological and behavioral types has been proposed to distinguish whether individuals are putting blame on changeable or unchangeable causes.
Mm-hmm.
This division, first proposed by Janoff Ballman, defines behavioral self-blame as casual attribution of an event's occurrence to specific, controllable actions that the individual took.
You understand? Meaning, instead of looking at the condition of black people like it's something out of your control, you don't want it to be out of your control. You want to be able to control what happens to you. So you say, well, if we stop making rap music, then white people will love us. If we'll stop, let me give you another one, sagging jeans. There are some black people that think if black people will just put a belt on, if they would put a belt on, white people would stop hating us and stop killing us. There were people that came home from fighting in World War II with a belt and a tie. Right. And they were murdered. There are black businesses that were thriving black businesses and they were murdered. Do you think white people are going to save you because you put on a belt? Do you understand how ridiculous that is? You don't understand the cruelty of white people. You don't get what has happened. We have a predator-prey relationship with white people. Right. It's just that simple. We're their prey. They eat us and devour us. And you don't even understand it. My grandmother used to put her face in a laugh barrel. My grandmother. She told me about it as a kid. She sat down and said, I remember watching some movie. I think it was The Color Purple. And I remember watching a movie with her and saying, well, when y'all went to downtown, where'd you get your food from? Or where did you go to places downtown? She told me she never went downtown. And I said, why? And she said, because I ain't feel like putting my face in no barrel. And I said, what? And she said, if you went downtown, white people were downtown. So if you laughed, if you were with your friends and you thought something was funny, there were barrels at the end of every store. There were barrels everywhere. And those barrels were for black people, like my grandmother, to put her face in the barrel so she never showed white people her teeth. So she never laughed while a white person could hear it. And she said her friends would go downtown and have fun. And if a white person was there, they ran to the barrel to stick their head in a barrel and laugh in the barrel. And it's called the effing laugh barrel. Now, do you blame black people for not going downtown, for not being able to operate in Center City, in the downtown areas? You blame them for it. It's easy to blame them because you can control that, but you can't control the venom and the anger of that animal that forces you to stick your face in a bucket before you laugh. So you make racism about you. I need to put on a belt. I need to stop my pants from sagging. I need to stop playing rap music. I need to do these things because it's easier than the real answer, which is our oppressor must lose his position of power. Our oppressor must go. That's the real answer. That answer is too difficult. So you boil it down to sagging pants. Keep going.
Concern. Characterological self-blame, on the other hand, is attribution of blame to factors of the self that are uncontrollable and stable over time.
They're uncontrollable. And over time, they're stable. They begin to be the norm. You can't change it. So you go to something you can change. If more of us went to college, white people would accept us. You were murdered for going to college. You were murdered for being a doctor. You were murdered for being a lawyer. You were killed for being an officer or a high-ranking member of the military. That is not true, that if you went to college, they will stop hating you. They're going to hate you because you went to college. That's stable over time. You don't know it, and you try to find some way to make yourself to blame so that in your mind you can stop it. You can't stop it. There is nothing you can do to make white people love you. The more you do, the more you're setting yourself up to have your city burned to the ground. Just like in the Black Wall Streets of America. We're going down to North Carolina to see a thriving city of black people who had belts on, and they wore their pants up, and they wore suits and ties, and they went to church every Sunday and worshiped a white Jesus. And they were doctors and lawyers in North Carolina, and thriving businesses and farmers and farms, and they all own land. And because of that success, white people burned their city to the ground. That's the truth. That's reality. That's not a stereotype. That's true. Does everyone understand? Go back to racial, and I gotta wrap it up. Go back to the racial thing. I want to get to when focusing on this makes you forget about what white people are doing to you. Go back to the racial, the other one, Asher.
Internalized racism.
Yes.
Any particular part you want, sir?
Let me see it.
We have this here.
Make it bigger, Rock. It's too small for me.
Okay, Concert.
This is so good. All of this. Also, give me that self-image of beauty. Go ahead.
Self-image / beauty standards. An empirical example of internalized racism is Kenneth and Mamie Clark's doll experiment, which was done in America in 1939 and 1940, at a time when black and white children were segregated. It involved an African-American child being presented with two dolls that were identical apart from skin and hair color. One doll being white with yellow hair and the other being brown with black hair.
Most of you, I don't have time to go into this, but if you go home and do this with your children tonight, your children will pick the white doll. And they'll say the white doll is pretty, the white doll is smart, the white doll is beautiful, and the doll that looks like them is ugly. Skip down to this is also an industry behind. This is also an industry behind right there.
Answer. There is also an industry behind skin whitening products, which can be found from India to China to the United States. Because lighter skin is associated with desirable characteristics, people purchase such products in order to become lighter skinned.
This is a psychological disorder that we all know about, and we think it's normal. It's a disease in your mind. Skip down the stereotype. This is not the one I'm looking for, but this is so good. Stereotypes. What? I'm wrapping it now. Go back. Let me see the topics again. Go back up to the top. There's one specifically about racism and the police. Is this the top? Well, hold up. Stop right there. Right here. Read dimensions.
Dimensions. Scholars have picked different dimensions to categorize internalized racism. Psychologist David N. Okazaki proposed that examples of internalized racism could be divided into the following: internalized inferiority.
Niggas ain't shit. Niggas can't do nothing right. I can't go to no nigger store. I'm not hiring a nigger. You know what? I don't even hang around niggas no more because I can't be around no more niggas. Keep going.
Answer. It says feelings of shame and embarrassment.
You embarrassed when you see black people. You know that feeling you feel when you see black people? It's like an embarrassment. That's internalized racism. That's what's going on. That's what happened when you saw Rihanna and her husband and that baby, and you see them emasculating that man. Let me explain to you why that Rihanna pictures exist. You got Rihanna that came out this week with a picture on what magazine was that? I want to say it was Vogue magazine. Rihanna on Vogue magazine with her husband ASAP Rocky and their baby. Everyone has seen this story. And Rihanna is in the front. And so everyone is looking at it and you're going, damn, it's wrong for Rihanna to be in the front because it's emasculating ASAP Rocky. Or you're saying Rihanna should be in the front because black women should be able to rule. Here's what you don't know. That picture of Rihanna and ASAP Rocky has nothing to do with you at all. That is not about you, black people. It's about white people. That image is what white people want to see. White people want to see a black woman being in charge of a black man because a black man who is in charge is scary when white people see it. That picture of Rihanna leading her man around is going to save lives. It's going to save lives. Who can answer my question quickly? I got to go. Rihanna, that picture, put the picture up on the screen. Hold this because I'm going right back to it. Matter of fact, let me finish this up and then I'll finish it up with Rihanna. Come on.
Concern. Physical characteristics within group discrimination and minimization or acceptance of oppression.
You minimize oppression. You accept it. It's not the police's fault. It's our fault. It's not because of slavery. You know what? Y'all niggas always talking about slavery. Stop bringing up slavery. Don't talk about slavery. Our people have a victim. We have a victim mentality. Stop having a victim mentality. That is a psychological disorder. Anyone that says that, that's black. Because no white person would ever say, don't talk about the Holocaust, don't talk about Pearl Harbor, don't talk about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. No other race would minimize a devastating event that happened to their people. But black people will say, you can't talk about slavery. Talking about slavery is wrong. That's a victim mentality. You're sick in your mind. You have a mental illness. Not according to me. According to these doctors. According to psychologists David and Osaki. They believe you're mentally ill. These doctors. Keep going.
Concern. It says, alternatively, Campone and Carter use this list: appropriations of negative stereotypes, thinking that maintains status quo, like denying racism, adaptation to white cultural standards, devaluation of own group, and emotional reactions. These categories influence how scholars organize their measurements of internalized racism.
When you see people denying racism, saying it's not true, saying that's not because of racism. No, ain't nothing racist about that. No, black people are just act like victims. That is a psychological disorder. According to the doctors, according to psychologists, it's right here up on the screen. According to psychologists. Now give me Rihanna and the brother, her husband. This is the last one. Now, everyone is talking about this picture right here. And of course, because you're black, you're thinking about how this affects you. You're seeing Rihanna. She's all powerful out in front like a proud lion. And A$AP Rocky, he looking like a little skinny little, like he can't harm a fly. He's looking like he's the mommy because he's kissing the baby and he's looking all small. She's looking all powerful. And because we're black, we think about how this affects us, right? So some of you might feel empowered by it because you believe that black women should be empowered. Some of you are insulted by it because you believe it's an emasculation of a black man. Let me help you with reality. This emasculation of this black man is saving lives. It's saving lives. Would anyone like to answer?
Concert.
Asher, would you like to give it a shot?
Concert, because it's allowing men to not be in the forefront and show their power.
And if white people think that black men are powerful, what will happen?
They will murder us.
They're going to burn down our cities and kill all of us. This picture is saving our life because it tells, first of all, we don't read Vogue. Do you know that, blacks and Hispanics? This magazine is not for us. This is not marketed to black people. Who is this magazine marketed to? Anyone want to give it a shot? White people, Mayan. Vogue is a magazine for white people. So Vogue is telling white people, don't worry, black men are raising babies in their home and black women are strong. And that makes white people not feel threatened. And as long as white people don't feel threatened, they won't kill us tonight. This picture is the fault of racist white people. It is not the fault of Rihanna. It is not the fault of A$AP Rocky. They probably took 200 pictures. They probably took a picture where A$AP Rocky was in the front and where Rihanna was holding the baby. But Vogue magazine, they know white people, and they know if white people don't feel like black men are effeminized, then white people are going to kill us tonight. They're going to come into your home and kill you. They're going to burn down your businesses. They're going to rape your women and kill your children because they feel threatened. So it's better that we hide our masculinity than that white people ever feel threatened. Don't, like Commanding General Johanna said, don't you ever blame yourself for anything, for nothing. Charleston White, A lot of you hate Charleston White. Charleston White is like that because of white people. That's why he's like that. A lot of you hate the Crips and the Bloods. The Crips and the Bloods are like that because of white people. You hate WAC 100. WAC 100 is like that because of white people. There is nothing in life that is not the fault of white people. And if you don't agree, you're sick in your mind. You have a mental disorder. With that, I want to thank Chicago. Give Chicago a hand. Detroit, headquarters. Give them a hand. Asher to water as usual for everything. Salaga to Captain Desar Yap and Kadazade coming through next. We'll cross the line. With that, I want to say, Cuídate, mi gente. Paz asiati, mi gente. Shalom.
Shalom, sir. Sure.
I'm sorry, the salute, bro. You call the salute. The what?
Clap it up for the class. Men of Israel, Madim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to get one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Madim Shabbat. Madim. Yahweh, which means hands down, soft faces, sisters. Amadim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madim Shabbat. Amadim. Rock. Which means hands down, class dismissed.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom, boys. See you next week, Lord allow.
Shalom, Shabbatam.